Okay, so for this video, I'd like to show how to make the egg emulsion that you use for making the paints. And so I'll just go through all the equipment. I like having some paper towel, a bottle of wine, which this is a Chardonnay. It's Jyoti Paul's favorite, and not for drinking. Some sort of container, a glass works well, something hard, and a fork. And I have a bowl for when I break the egg, having just something to put all the egg white and the parts of the egg we don't use into. And I just have a container that this will be my storage for what I use when I'm painting. And then for eggs, I just use, I like using the free-range organic eggs, the hormone-free eggs, I would say. And it's partly because you can actually tell a huge difference in the quality of eggs when you're making this repeatedly. The ones that are hormone-fed, the eggshells tend to almost be like paper thin, and they break real easy. And the egg itself just doesn't have to seem that nice of a quality, whereas the hormone-free kind of eggs are, they seem to work better. And so I've already selected one of the eggs from here, which I'll use this one. Now for what I'll do is break this open and show how I separate the egg yellow, the egg yolk, from the egg white. And I want to make sure I separate that really well. I don't want to get any of the egg white or the yolk into the solution that'll go in here. And there's two different ways that I've been taught how to make the egg solution. And with the Prosopon school, they use a wine as their medium for mixing it in with. And they suggested the Chardonnay because it's about a 12 to 13% alcohol content, which tends to work really well. Father Damien, who's also taught me how to do icon painting, uses vinegar. So it'd be like 4 parts water to just 5 or 6 drops of vinegar. And the only problem with that solution is that, well, there's 2 problems, is that it tends to go off, it tends to spoil a lot faster. So like maybe 3 days, 3 or 4 days, you'd have to make the solution over again. The wine tends to last at least a week, and I don't even need to refrigerate it, and it seems to work better. But also the smell, so just having the smell of the wine versus vinegar. Because the vinegar, it smells like the locker room and dirty tennis shoes. So that's why I prefer the wine. And so I think next I'll go over to the sink and give a demo of actually separating the egg yolk from the egg. Okay, so I'm just going to wash my hands just so I don't contaminate the solution in it either. And then I have an extra bowl here, which I just remembered to put the egg white and the shells in. So just to crack this. And then I just take a top part of the egg off. You don't need to take the whole thing. But then you can see the egg white. As Father Damien used to call this by the professional name, this is the doohickey of the egg. You want to make sure you can remove that part. And just as much as I can, just removing the egg white just by this way here. So you'll see a little bit of dripping off. And then from here, I'll just get a small stream of water going. And just so the egg starts to, you can see it's actually rolling. The egg yolk is rolling inside the egg there, inside the shell. And I can feel there's still a little bit of the egg white in here. Okay. And just kind of get as much water out of there as I can. Then I have a piece of paper towel that I put the egg onto. Beautiful little egg there. Color and brightness, it almost looks like the sun, which I think for an egg, for a tempera painting, it does have some spiritual significance of that. So then I just have a fork, and what I'm going to do is it's still in the egg sac of the yolk, and I will just pierce it, and then I try to keep the egg sac from going into the jar. And I'm not painting so much or using so much that I'll use about half the solution, so I don't try to get every single last bit of it. But then we'll put this into our composting. And so you can see there's the eggs yellow. And what I'll do is I'll add a bit of the wine. Usually 4 parts to whatever I have in their bag. I'm going to do this a little less. It's about 2 parts. I can add more wine to it later. And then I will just try to stir it up like scrambled eggs as much as I can. It's okay to get air bubbles in it. And I can see here on the side there's lots of I think they're proteins of the egg is actually what helps it here. Mix it up. And then last thing I'll do is pour it into my container. Give that a clean. And this is Jyoti Paulo's Icon solution. And that would easily last me a week. I need to start marking this bottle here. So we're right there at the top there, just in case any of the residents who are living here are taking any sips out of my bottle of wine, I'll know exactly where we are. I hope they're not doing that because that would be very bad for their practice.